President Cyril Ramaphosa has reiterated that the monies stolen from his Phala Phala farm were proceeds from the sale of game. He's told delegates at the ANC's Limpopo conference that the charges brought against him are baseless and suggesting that they are a political ploy against him. Former intelligence boss Arthur Fraser laid a criminal complaint against Ramaphosa. The Presidential Protection Unit head, Major General Wally Rudd, and members of crime intelligence for alleged money laundering, acting in contravention of the Prevention of Organised Crime Act as well as corruption. Ramaphosa is maintaining his innocence.
I want to reaffirm that I was not involved in any criminal conduct, and once again I pledge my full cooperation with any form of investigation. Now, due to the investigation, I will not really be able to engage deeply or further on this matter, as we should allow the due process to take place. However, I would like to say that I'm a farmer. I'm in the cattle business and the game business. And through that business, which has been declared in Parliament and all over, I buy and I sell animals. Sometimes people buy these animals, and some of the people who have bought some of the animals, some of them are here. I do it, yes. I do it through, the sales are sometimes through cash or sometimes through transfers. Some of the people who are offshore customers and who are sometimes local, they come through and buy animals, and some of them come also to hunt on the farm. And so this that's being reported was a clear business transaction of selling animals. The amount involved is far less than what has been bandied in the press. Babang this morning bariki billion rand, Babang bariki $4 million and so forth. I want to say it's far less. Some are casting aspersions about me and money. I want to assure you, comrades, that all this was money from proceeds from selling animals. I have never stolen money from anywhere, be it from our taxpayers, be it from anyone. I have never done so. And will never do so. I've never stolen money from our taxpayers. My integrity as a leader will never allow me to do so. I will never be able to do so.
Well, the criminal complaint against the president laid by Arthur Fraser on Wednesday has exponentially raised the stakes over exactly what transpired during and after that break-in on his farm. Information obtained by investigative collective Amabhungane points to a major cover-up of the theft of a reported $4 million. You heard the president downplay that number there. But to share what they've uncovered, let's talk to Amabhungane co-managing partner Sam Sol. Sam, good evening. Thank you for your time. Let's start with the first part. And in fact, before we even get there, let's just get your thoughts maybe. I know that you didn't listen, you weren't able to hear the president address this a little bit earlier on, but you've heard that clip there now. I'd like your thoughts.
Yes, well, look, I think the first point is that the amount really is neither here nor there. We have information from the Namibian authorities showing that some of the suspects in this matter transferred around 6 million rands or 6 million Namibian dollars from their South African accounts to Namibian accounts. And that seems to be partly why the Namibians picked up on these individuals and this issue. It seems very likely that 6 million rand was not the full amount. There are indications that other money was physically smuggled. So whether it was $1 million or $4 million, the issue is not really neither here nor there. The issue is why a criminal police charge was not laid and properly investigated. The issue is why, when the Namibians wanted to follow this up, and in fact, as we understand, sent the South Africans a formal request for mutual legal assistance, that went nowhere. And
right.
the indications are that there was an effort to keep this quiet. And really, the reason for that and how that happened and how the investigation was conducted, that seems to be at the heart of this potential scandal.
Right. So you mentioned the Namibian connection. This is the connection your team was able to uncover. Tell us about what Namibian journalist Tileni Mngudi shared about the interaction between Namibian and South African authorities. It appears our authorities were not that forthcoming.
That's correct. Already in June 2020, one of the suspects in this matter was arrested while.
All right, let's return then to that interview with Sam Soul. Sam, just confirm you can hear me.
Yes, and I'm sorry about the poor internet connection.
No problem. All right, so you were just sharing with our viewers the Namibian connection and, the fact that the story came out around the time that it happened, and there was an attempt by Namibian authorities to connect with ours to resolve this issue. Tell us what happened.
Yes, that's correct. So one of the suspects was arrested in June 2020 after crossing into Namibia illegally. And a few days after that, Namibian journalists, including our colleague from the Namibian Tileni, picked up information from their Namibian government contacts that this individual was involved in this theft at Cyril Ramaphosa's farm, and that the South African authorities were not being cooperative. In fact, we know and have now established, had it confirmed, that the Namibian authorities, I think in around July or early August, actually sent, of 2020, sent the South African authorities a formal request for mutual legal assistance in relation to this matter, in relation to the suspicious transfers that had happened into Namibian accounts. But they received no help, no reply as far as we understand. So the real question is not the amount of money that was stolen. The question is, why does there appear to have been a cover-up? Why does there appear to have been an attempt to keep this quiet and hush it up?
So the question many are asking tonight, Sam, is did the president satisfy his legal responsibility to report the crime, and did he illegally hold that money, ostensibly, as he said, the proceedings of a game sale on his farm? What can you tell us about that?
Look, that I can't say. I mean, we sent detailed questions around some of those things to the president on Friday afternoon, and he didn't respond and said there was an investigation, and some of his spokesperson said that there was an investigation. And like he said now, that he can't respond in detail because of the investigation. But I think those questions go to the heart of this matter. What did he know? When did he know it? And what did he do about it? Both in regard to the handling of the foreign currency, and then in regard to the management of the investigation. It's all very well for him to say that he informed the head of the Presidential Protection Unit, General Rueda, about it. But what happened after that is really what is at issue here.
Yeah, I've got so many questions for you. Unfortunately, we're totally out of time. But I guess one of the things I'm thinking about is, how did the Namibian journalists cover the story that seemingly went unnoticed by us in South Africa? If there's time, maybe we can respond to that. But there's a person by the name of Emanuela David.
Yes.
Who features quite prominently in the saga. And as this intrigue grows, the suspects were reportedly kidnapped and apparently questioned relentlessly about their roles.
Yes, so David was one of the suspects. There were two others that we don't name in the piece, and according to Mr. Fraser's affidavit, there were in total 5 people implicated. But from what we picked up and what Mr. Fraser's affidavit now alleges, we didn't have access to Mr. Fraser's affidavit when we wrote our story. That there was a domestic worker or a helper who worked at the farm who became aware of the holding of cash, alerted her brother, who I think lived in the area, and her brother was the person who brought in the sort of gang that carried out the heist. And from what we understand, and from somebody we spoke to who knew some of the people involved, once this was discovered, the staff were obviously questioned, and there's an allegation that at least the domestic helper and her brother were kept locked up during that process. We don't have any evidence of that, but that's also one of the allegations that Mr. Fraser made.
All right. Sam, thank you so much for sharing the results of your investigation. I'm sure the story is not going away anytime soon. There are a lot more important and critical questions need answering. Sam Soul is Amabhungane's co-managing partner.